Hello. We are live. Nice to see you for this interview here with Mrs. Charlie Day, who I will introduce in a second. It's quite nice coming on here as me, but that's because we're using StreamYard, so I can. It's like a little workaround, so I can get in and see you all. If you are on live, please say hello. Give me a heart and a thumbs up. We're going to be doing another success story interview. I hope you've been enjoying these interviews this week. I love doing them. I haven't got to do them all this week. My team is on it with me. But I always love doing them because people change every year. And so many people say to me at the beginning of One to Many, I'm going to be your success story for next year. I'm going to be the one you interview. And the ones that tell me that generally do. They then become the success story, which I absolutely love. Hello. Nice to see you guys. So first of all, welcome, Charlie, to our little...
Hi, I'm so excited to be here.
Let's I'm going to take you way back. It's not actually that far back. It feels like it now because we've known each other a while. But right at the beginning, before you and I knew each other, what made you decide to come into One to Many? Where were you at the time of your business?
Yeah, so I was running a business already. I've always ran my own businesses. I started my first business when I was 21, and I have built 3 businesses from the ground up. So I was running my third business then. Now, when I say I built 3 businesses from the ground up, I'm sort of lying because I didn't realize then, but what I had actually created was a job for myself. So I ran a theatre school when I was 21. I set up a party company. And then I ran Phonics with Robot Reg, which was my biggest company out of the 3. We franchised it. We had franchisees internationally. And I was head of sales, if you like. I mean, there was only 2 of us, but I sort of did the sales. And my sister, who was the other co-founder, did all the lesson plans and the teaching and whatnot. And basically, I set up a little Facebook group because loads of people would come to me and say, how have you sold so many franchises? We sold 30 franchises before I was 30 years old. And one of our customers worked in the press and they picked up this story and sort of flew with it. And so this story got me loads of like PR, just like locally between people who knew me. And so everybody would say, Charlie, can I take you out for coffee and ask you how you've made these sales? And I was like, oh yeah, I'll go out for coffee and lunches. And before I knew it, I was doing more coffees and lunches than I was my actual job. So I set up a little Facebook group and I just said, look, everybody who I talk to could probably learn from each other as well. So let's have this little Facebook group. And by the end of the week, I had 250 people in there. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane. I'm going to, be the next. Well, no, I didn't think anything actually, because I didn't think that I could monetize it. I didn't know, like,
just being helpful.
Yeah, I just thought, oh my gosh, this would be so cool. And I can help people to make more sales. And then I came across you. Race to Recurring Revenue and you, and somebody had told me to do it and I was like, no, I don't like the look of her. I don't think it's for me. So I did Race to Recurring Revenue, and if anybody who is watching is this, then I'm your friend. I did not comment. I didn't put a jiffy in the group.
You were like a lurker, weren't you?
Yeah, I was a lurker. I just sat there, I watched it, I did everything in my notepad. I went to the masterclass. There was no way that I was going to sign up to One to Many. It wasn't on my radar. But when I saw it and I saw everything, I was like, oh my gosh, like what could the possibility be here for this group with 250 people in it, which at the time I thought was absolutely massive. And so I went to my husband and I was like, I think I'm going to sign up to this course called One to Many. And I told him the price and he was like, you are out of your mind. Like, no, I don't support this. It's just you and your crazy ideas. You've always got new ideas. And now if I remind him of that conversation, I mean, like he's friends with you and Sam now. So if I remind him of that conversation, he's like, I didn't say that. I always thought it was a good idea. I'm like, did you?
So you came into One to Many. First of all, was it what you expected? What did you want to happen? I mean, I know a lot of people come in hoping to make money really quickly. Is that what you wanted? Or were you more like, I need a long-term business stream? Like, how did you think of it?
I don't know at that point if I thought on that sort of level. I
Okay.
don't think I was thinking about strategy or anything. I think I just thought, look, if over the next couple of years I can make my money back and then continue to make a little bit of money on the side, then that would be great. I remember, I think it was maybe like, I can't remember which week it was, but the one of the weeks you just said something, and it was along the lines of like, you know, you put something out before you're ready, that sort of a thing. And I went away from that session of one to many, and I put together a package. And I couldn't think, it was like a one-to-one package with me to work on the sales in your business. And I couldn't think what to price it at, but it was a really good package. You know, they were going to get to work with me one-to-one and everything. And so I thought, well, let's just see, what if I price this package at the course cost of many? I put it out that night and it sold straight away, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh. So I had made my money back, and it must have been like after like week 7 or 8, I had made my money back on the course. And I had, and you know this about me, you know, I come to the sessions, and I'm still like this now. I come to the, I ask all the questions, I take all the notes, I went away and I implemented it, and I come back the next week and I do more. And I remember we had to write 100 sentences about something, and I only had like 79. And I was like, I must write 100 sentences. Lisa Johnson has told me to do this. And so that's what I did. You know, I really followed it to the T.
You have
And
to be a student. You're good at implementing. Like some people, you ask them to implement and they think about it for a while. They're not sure, and they might question me over whether it will work or not. You just went and did it.
yeah, and the hardest thing, right, is growing the audience. So I think that first 3 months, I really went all in on growing the audience. I was obsessed with getting in front of my ideal client. And so after 3 months, I started putting my offer out there, which at the time, like if I could go back now, I wouldn't have launched with a membership, but we live and learn. So I had a membership with 7 people in it back in the day, and it was bringing me in £250 a month. And do you know what? I was absolutely thrilled, because I still had my full-time job over here doing the sales for
Felt like a little bit extra.
Yeah, it was just like extra money. But my head, this is the way my brain works. I was like, if I can make £250 a month, I can make 500, I can make 1,000, I can make 5,000. You know, in January this year, I turned over £100,000 worth of passive income in my business.
In what? A month?
A month.
Amazing. And honestly, watching you grow has been amazing, because you started out going, I've made £250. And then every time we've kind of had a conversation, I've gone, right, like, you've done that now. So let's go to this level. And every time you've gone, oh my God, like you've had the imposter syndrome that everyone does. I can't do that. I can't make 200 grand. I can't make 500 grand. I can't make 1 million. And then you just go and do it, which is how it should be.
Yeah, and do you know what, Lisa? It's not just about the money for me. Like, the money is fabulous, and you and I both share the love of traveling and flying business class and all of those things, which, you know, you do need money ultimately to do those things, and I love that. But actually, it's opened up a whole new world to me. Like, I have got friends, like proper friends, that I wouldn't have had if I hadn't have come into One to Many. You know, I've taken myself, my personal development, my business development to a level. Like I said, I just had a job before. I was swapping time for money. And now I'm building a sales agency. I want to run the UK's biggest female sales team. Like, it's changed so much for me. And since doing this journey, my little boy Ernie has been diagnosed with autism and ADHD, and we've been through a whole journey with him. And you know, it's so hard going through that. But actually, when you've got the freedom and the flexibility, and let's face it, the money, it brings you different options. And so for me, it wasn't just about the money. Yes, I love the money and I love what that brings and the opportunities, but the flexibility and the opportunity that it's created for my family has just been amazing.
We've heard this a lot. Like, people say to us, like, I came in thinking it was about the money and that's what I wanted to do, just make a bit more money. And actually it changed my world, because it's not about that in there. It's about self-development and realizing the opportunities that are actually there for you. And it's about friendship and, you know, helping each other, which is what we all do in One to Many. I know you're quite good at being truthful and blunt. So I'm going to ask you a few things that other people might not say because it's me asking them, but I know you will. So
Okay.
what didn't you like about One to Many? Is there anything difficult or that you wish was different?
Okay, so I know what is difficult about One to Many. Well, it's a blessing and a curse, to be honest. The difficult thing is being surrounded by people who are on the same journey as you. So when I first started doing One to Many, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, is my idea good enough? Am I good enough? How am I going to get through in this noise? How can I possibly? There's no way. I'm drowning in like all of these people. And as well, because your Facebook algorithm starts showing you other people who are doing the exact same thing that you're doing. You're like, there's millions of us out here that I didn't even know existed. So it's really hard not to compare yourself in the group. That's such a difficult thing. And you start thinking that you're not good. It's human nature. That's what we're all going to do. But the great thing about it is, I think when you're on a journey with other people, you know, we're a combination of the people we spend our time with. So when people are like, yes, you can do it, put the offer out, do the thing, you're like, oh yeah, I think I can do it actually. I'm just gonna. So that's what I mean by it's a blessing and a curse. If I've got one piece of advice, is don't compare yourself to other people, but also I know how hard that is as well.
It is hard. I'm going to ask you another question. Who is One to Many not for?
It's not for anybody who isn't willing to do the work. Like, One to Many has changed my life, and it continues to change my life. And the trajectory of my business has just gone through the roof and will continue to go through the roof. However, I don't want anybody to sit and watch me and think that I haven't worked really hard and I haven't gone out there and done all the things. This is not free money. Do you know what I mean? I think some people think it is, like Lisa Johnson just going, woo, free money. You will have to work. You'll have to put yourself out there. And like I've been saying to people I've been talking to this week about doing One to Many, is like, I'm going to be making sure that, like, when I come in and do the bonus, right, I'm going to be telling you, get out there and make the sales. Go and put the offer out. I don't care if you're ready or you're not ready. You are going to have to sell. You're going to have to consistently sell, even if that's hard for you. You know, we can find a way that works for you and for your business, but ultimately you're going to have to get out there and do it.
Yeah, you aren't going to be paying me money and suddenly getting rich, I'm afraid. There is going to be some work to do. What's next for you?
So yeah, I went from literally nothing to £250 a month. And then within the first 12 months, I turned over £100,000. And I have just sort of continued to double my turnover year on year. So fingers crossed, 2024 will be my first 7-figure year in terms of turnover. I have turned over £1 million in passive income since I started, but I want a year of £1 million. Yeah. And I am growing and scaling a sales agency that's brand new for 2024. So up until this point, I've been teaching other people, doing my membership courses, group programs, masterminds. But now we are having an in-house sales team and we're selling on behalf of other people. So yeah, that's the plan.
And it will work. That's a brilliant plan. And if you're coming into One to Many, you get a bit of Charlie, because Charlie is coming in as a bonus to teach you how to make money now rather than wait for your audience to grow. Because I know a lot of you just want to start making sales quickly. And so that's what it's all about.
And there's no reason why you can't. You can absolutely make money.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. Really nice to chat to you, as always. Charlie's in the group. So if you want to ask any questions of Charlie, she's in there. Do go ahead and ask her. Because sometimes when you hear from people who started out and then they're making like $1 million, I can understand how that sort of blows your mind a bit. It used to blow mine.
Can I
Yeah.
say, 'cause when
Yeah.
I did one-to-many, right, I remember tuning into these videos, okay? And I thought I'd done pretty well with my Phonics with Robot Reg business. You know, I was turning over or like taking an okay wage. I thought, but I'd built it all myself, right? And I remember Abigail Horn coming on and talking about £60,000 launch. I remember Danny Wallace talking about, and I actually felt deflated by the conversation. I didn't feel inspired, which is weird for me. Somebody else came on and talked about how they made $6,000, and I was like, oh, that's exciting. So if you're sitting here thinking that can never happen to me, that's not available for me, I did the same thing. And now, you know, I am in a peer group with Danny and Abby, and I'm working with Danny. Like, you know, I never, ever, ever thought, I didn't do one-to-many to make £1 million. I didn't think it was possible for me in even the slightest chance of me doing that. £10,000, maybe. £1 million, no chance. I still say this to you, Lisa, like, can you believe that I've turned over £1 million in passive income? I've done that. And Lisa's like, yeah, no, I can't believe it. I'm like, can you?
Yes, I can. I knew you would.
So if you're watching it and you don't believe it, like I am you. So yeah, do one-to-many. It'll change your life.
Thank you for being here. Thanks for watching. I've got an extra one for you tonight. I'm going to come back in at 6 p.m. to interview somebody that did something different with her one-to-many. And I want to speak to you about what that is. She actually started a business, changed it, has done another business. And I think a lot of people pivot when they're in one-to-many. So I want to talk to you about that. I will see you then. Have an amazing evening, whatever you're doing. See you later, Charlie.
Bye.
Bye.